lovies, 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 lovies. Hi, guys. Welcome back. I feel like we abandoned you, like we just left y'all for dead. Because, look, our shit's a little raggedy. Things are picking up for us. Thank you for being the reason why things are picking up for us. And but we will never leave you. Like we are here. We are here despite anything else that might be going on. We are the kings and queens of multitasking. Would like to thank our sponsors. Nana's pudding and other deliciousness. Banana pudding freshly made from love and rivaling magnolias. Go to their websites listed below and check out their banana pudding cheesecake, banana pudding cake, sweet potato pie, strawberry cheesecakes, and more. Available for purchase on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, or simply by calling 917-774-8116. Nana's Pudding. 6inchshoes.com. 6inch Shoes is a high-end online shoe store with a huge collection of stunning footwear and accessories. Step up your look with 6inch Shoes and accessories from global brands and local designers. You can count on 6inch Shoes to elevate your style quotient and stand out in the crowd with stylish footwear and accessories. For more information, go to 6inchshoes.com. The number 6inchshoes.com. And I'm happy to say that DJ Envy is out today with his kids at the water park, which is wonderful. But he left me in charge. Wait, it's your show? He left me in charge of this car show shenanigan.
Coachella.
The one in Atlantic City on August 14th, I am the ambassador for Philadelphia, New Jersey.
Yes.
What does an ambassador do? Get vendors, advertisers, sponsors, and anybody that has a product to promote or sell. So if you would like to be a part of his very, very bigly Coachella event in Atlantic City, please email me at missjonesreunion@gmail.com and I will send you over sponsor packages. We can work anything out. missjonesreunion@gmail.com. Be a part of Coachella. And we all gonna be there anyway. I've got my t-shirt line that I'm going to be selling there, or at least have Jalen and his raggedy ass friends selling there. And yeah, I'll have a tracker on Shay so we can locate him at the end of the night. He'll probably be having a legal dice game going on.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so thank you. And also Jones and After Dark, I have to thank you guys for joining me on IG Live. We've moved over to a new page because I'm in IG jail, right? So I did what any other upstanding IG jail person would do. I created a new page. So if you want to catch me on IG, it's only Jonesy1. Yep, only Jonesy1. Don't implicate yourself, research. Stay clean. Someone
okay. Oh, okay, never mind. I got it.
Back to business.
Oh my God.
So with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, welcome to episode.
I think it's
to the next episode. Oh
man! What? Hold up! Before we go any further, what is this new page now? Because the fact that I don't know what page you got. You on the run. You on the IG run.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? How does that happen?
You Cool G Rap on the run music.
I had to call her, Michael Sean. It was like, did you start another page? Because this Jonesy, one individual is trying to follow me. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, folks make fake accounts for celebrities all the time. So I wanted to be sure, but I
you know, it's the typical white man trying to hold the black girl down. Back at them by using their own rules and crooked ways against them. So
we're only jonesing after dark on only Jonesy1.
Only Jonesy1.
Okay, wait a second.
Put that up so they know.
Yeah, put that up. Only
Jonesy1. And the minute we're out of jail, we're back in business.
Oh, there is that you?
Oh, aha.
Like
the light bulb just went off.
I'm a backup girl.
I
was slipping. I should have started that from the beginning. I know I'm a B-plan girl. I know I always do things to get myself in the corner. Should have been prepared. I'm back.
Lesson learned.
said, the show, we ain't been on here for a minute. You said, what did you say? You said, well, things are happening. But that's what happens in life. Like, if you're honest with a woman, you're like, why you stop calling me? Because I'm doing better.
Damn, like you're showing.
My cable back on. Got the car note right. No need to sleep over with you. I'm kidding. All right, I got you. I got your new page.
But look, that's what it is. And those that fuck with me, y'all fuck with me, y'all know what it is. Mm-hmm. It's bound to be some shitty weeds we get in. We just got to figure out the exit plan ahead of time. So here we are, only Jonesy 1, until we back to Miss Jones official. And I have a Twitter page. And
you have a Twitter page. See, I don't have Twitter.
See what the man, you see how the man makes you resourceful? You see how the dirty man helps you win an election and get you out of office? That's what they do to get resourceful and use their own crooked laws against them.
So you got a Twitch.
Now we have a Twitch page, and the Twitch page is official Miss Jones. We got options.
You gotta have options. This girl.
Mike, how are you, Mike?
I'm good. Well, I'm good now. Today I'm good. Yesterday I fell victim to all the propaganda that y'all forced me to get that second vaccination. So I have.
Listen.
I wasn't never catching that shit. Yes,
you was.
I was never catching it.
And you would have been
traveling.
That's what I'm saying. I've been traveling this whole time. I'm telling you, my immune system is Superman. It was nothing. Nothing COVID could do.
Oh, please.
What happened to you? You got the second shot? What happened?
First of all, the girl everybody tells me the shot, right? The first shot, you didn't even feel it. Mm-hmm. This woman gives me the shot and immediately says, oh, sorry. Sorry? This shit hurt. It was the first shot. Literally, I don't know what she did. She poked me and said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no, there's no sorry. I already know my arm's going to be sore, but I just looked at it. I was disgusted from that moment. I was disgusted.
She's just trying to be polite.
Yeah, but do your job correctly. Everybody else was smooth records. Here I go with Miss Fumbleitis over here talking about, oh, sorry.
Smooth record.
Man. So then they gave me, to try to make me feel fancy. They gave me a little plastic holder for my card. They did all that.
I didn't get a plastic holder.
And then the rest of the day, I was done. I felt so lightheaded the rest of the day. I was like, and I had to take my girls to this movie. We went to go see this movie, Carlia. I don't know what the hell this long ass movie.
In the movie? So
we went to the movie theater. No, we went to the movie theater.
Is that the Dalmatians movie? Yes, I can't wait to see it.
That's a little dark little movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too damn long, and I was sick as hell. And I tried to play nice and just act like I was paying attention. And I was like, I really could do little.
No, two things. You could have been really, really fucked up, but it's a good thing to know that your immune system is shitty and raggedy like mine. So you recovered fairly quickly. And two, be glad that your daughters still are interested in Dalmatian movies.
Yeah, and you're right. And you're right, because the struggle is real to keep these kids.
Yes, Lord.
The struggle is real to keep these teenage years. Evie put this little cute post. He always puts the cutest little post up. He goes, boys are fun, but girls are super great or whatever. He made it seem like daughters are on another fucking level, y'all. Teenage daughters are different. Y'all ovaries are different. Ovaries are just different.
Exactly.
I've gotten to the point where if it's not real serious, I tap out and I go like, do what the fuck y'all want. I said, I'm tired because my opinion never matches the room's opinion. Never matches so I'm like, you know what? Y'all go ahead. Yeah. Call me when everything fucks up, and then I can just be like, oh, y'all need me now? Oh, okay. All right.
Let me grab my cape.
Let me grab this cape real quick.
Yeah.
Women, y'all different.
Little girls, yeah, they're different.
And I don't have daughters, but I had 3 of somebody else's daughters spend the night at my house last night.
Ooh.
No. 3? First of all, Jalen, you're the good son. You don't be offering girls to spend the night because, it got a little late. Then they should have left earlier.
What is going?
They don't want to drive all the way back to not that long of a drive.
What's going?
I've driven farther. Well, why can't they just sleep in the basement? And where you sleeping? Well, we could all sleep in the bed. So it's 3 guys, 2 girls, and we.
What?
But so Jalen's father happened to drive up, and so he's in town. He came up Friday night from Atlanta. So I figure, oh, I'm about to put 17 years of absentee parenting in his motherfucking ass. Go ask your dad. What? Ask your dad. If he says yeah, I'm all here for it. My dad sleep. Nigga, why you sleep? You've been asleep for 17 fucking years. Get up. Get up. Get up. And then he didn't get up. And then I tell Jalen, why the girls' parents didn't call me?
Right.
I could be I'm the crazy woman. I have crazy shit going on in this house. Like Jalen's father just arbitrarily pulls up from a 15-hour drive from Atlanta and knocks at the door. I'm not here. Flip opens the door and lets him in.
Flip.
Not to put my business out the street.
Wait. Time out. What's the timeout sign? Time out.
Oh, it's this. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing.
Stop.
You just cursed out somebody in sign language. You didn't even know it. You just cursing. You just calling people motherfucker and everything. Didn't even know it. Like,
so you're not home. Jalen has company. Jalen's dad drives up from Atlanta
with his two daughters
and the house and a dog.
And Flip's at the house.
Flip answers the door. How'd that go?
Look, who you? What you mean, who am I? I'm from Queens, nigga.
I love it.
That's the answer for everything. I'm from Queens. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And I'm at the club with Mr. C.
Exactly.
No. Why is Flip at your house?
He's always at my house.
So this is a thing.
He's my village. He fucking is the only one that keeps Che in check. And honestly, I think he likes the male camaraderie. And he brings his kids. So the kids, like, you know.
No, I don't. I don't know.
But so
this is different.
When your father's not around, you try to take advantage of the nurturing side of your mom because you know you ain't gonna do nothing, mommy.
Oh God.
You need a flip.
That's episode 16, folks.
Now I'm gonna have one. So anyway.
As long as it's serving a purpose, it seems to be serving a purpose.
Serving a purpose and it's helping. It's the village. It's the real how the new villages look.
Yeah.
So did the girls end up spending the night?
So to my understanding, no one spent the night because they were on the beach watching the sunrise.
Who said what now?
If it's too far for them to drive back to how the fuck you gonna drive to Jersey Shore? I tapped out at 4:44 a.m. I'm like, I have no more IG Jones and After Dark content. Kirk ass asleep, so I can't boo love on the phone with that nigga till Jalen comes in.
What is going on?
So lot that unnecessary roughness is going on. So I find out this morning, he said that Jalen came in at 8 a.m. I asked Jalen, he said, we ain't come in no 8 a.m. Matter of fact, I came in your room, kissed you goodnight. And so I don't know. I guess in 6 to 8 weeks, we'll all know.
No. Check the ring, please.
Oh, right, the ring.
Check the ring. Come on, girl.
You don't give a fuck. I'm like, I'm not going to disrupt my hot girl summer.
It is a hot girl summer.
But somewhere there's a parent of 3 girls that didn't call me, but probably was like, that's Jonesy. This a come up. Either way, we good.
No.
The real checks ain't here yet, y'all. We will be well, I don't know what the clinic is out in Abington.
Oh, Jesus.
Baby.
You gotta wait 6 days. How you got your daughter just running them streets like that?
And
it's just a different lifestyle. Not even calling.
I don't know, but Bill Stephanie is here, so we need to probably. So wait, I gotta give y'all before we bring him in. Bill Stephanie is my very first record deal president. He is the man that signed me and gave me my first record deal. So I guess I should probably introduce him like right now while I'm in the spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, the man that saw a diamond in the rough the man that took me in and made me or gave me the start, the shot at being who I am today and where I am today is about to join us. He is the president of Stepson Records, and he's done a whole lot of other stuff with like Spike Lee, and like he's big in film, in the film world. He used to Public Enemy and all the, he's ask him all these questions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very first record label president, CEO, the genius, Mr. Bill Stephanie.
Yeah.
In years. So this is it. Bill, are you there? Hi, Bill.
Hey, Miss
Oh,
Oh.
Hey, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike Sean, and this is Tay. I call her research because she was my entire research department whenever I did mornings, whether it be in Philly or New York. So we call her research. I was just filling them in. I said, this is like the man that, like, he gave me the start to wherever I am right now, or whatever I've become, or whoever I've been in your lives. This is the man that saw the diamond in the rough and shined me off and believed in the dream. So welcome.
So you did it. You're the one that took this fast ass, young ass chick running them Queens streets and got her the deal. You did it.
now we got somebody to blame.
She did it. No, she did it for sure. There's no question. She was already out. I just happened to be around with, a baseball mitt that could catch her for a second, but she was already out doing her thing.
When did you see her? When was the first time you saw her? Paint the picture. Was she already loud and already the star of the show and the center of attention? And she was in the middle of some singing cipher.
All right.
Paint the picture. How'd you meet her?
Always a star. Always a star. I heard her on a Ron G mixtape, and I forgot which one of my employees. We were trying to, before Funkmaster Flex had put out like the first professional mixtape on a CD and have it distributed. We were trying to do the same thing. So we were listening to a whole bunch of them, and we heard one track that Tarsha was singing on, and I was like, "Who is that?" And it just so happened I had been in a production collective called the Bomb Squad, which was me,
Public
Chuck
Enemy.
Public Enemy, Hank Shock,
Yeah.
and we had worked with Dougie Fresh on his song "Keep Rising to the Top," which did very, very well. And
which, by the way, is the intro to our show. For those of you that don't know, that's the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that relationship, along with hearing her on the mixtape, on the Ron G tape, like those two things, I think, collided and allowed us to reach out directly to her and set up a meeting. And from day one, I was like, wow, she can sing. From that first meeting, it clearly apparent, because this has driven her career, very quick mind. That's what struck me, immediately. And she looked like Miss Black America. Like all of these things, combined, where it just seemed incredibly obvious to work with her.
So that happens, and you sign her. And I've said what you just said to a million people. I said she can sing. She's got ridiculous personality. She's got the comedic timing of a comedian who's been doing it for 20 years. And that's all encompassing, everything she does. But she's a loose cannon. And she's very passionate. So I need to hear, let's call it being very passionate.
Yeah. Well, passion is key. Passion is gasoline. That's what keeps the car going.
So when did it come to, because when she does something, it's her baby. Everything she does, she embraces as this is all me. When was the first time when they might have been a butting of their heads up, but I want to do it like this. This is how I want it to sound. This is what I envisioned, Bill. This is her talking. Did you ever have that talk?
Sure. But, in every creative relationship, in order for real creativity, I think, to happen, there has to be, some sort of, I don't want to call it tension or anything, but just, meeting of the minds, bringing different perspectives, create something new in general. And in that process, that's usually when you create something, fresh and exciting and new. What we were trying to do with Tarsha, we thought was completely different. We were trying to take her motif, excuse me, as the blend tape, sing on hooks for DJs. Nobody had really done that yet, to really, make that her lane, along with all the obvious other attributes that she had in terms of her look, in terms of her personality, in terms of her singing talent. All of those things combined with that unique motif, we thought all made sense. So, there were instances. I think we had some situation over a sample, over one of the songs we were working on her album, where we had some differences. But for the most part, as we were going from recording her first two singles into recording her album, it was fairly regular process. I've worked with some difficult artists. I've try corralling Flavor Flav.
Oh,
For
nice.
So that was my internship for trying to learn how to work with artists. So in the scheme of all the artists and talented people that I've worked with for many decades, we had, I thought, was a pretty standard creative working relationship.
And can I say, I think that was because I agree with you. I don't think that there was ever, when there was contention, it was only because you were teaching me and I was challenging, because, this is all I had. My mom had just died, and it was like, you guys picked me up off the street. And this is all I had gone to college for, high school for. This is all I knew that I could be. I didn't have a B plan. And so I had to make sure. So I had the challenge when he would say things and I'm like, but no, I don't know if that's the right, it was just fear. But the reason it didn't get out of control and I, follow is because he proved that he knew what he was doing. And I love learning. It's just these other assholes that get these jobs and don't know what they're doing. And they want you to submit just because they have the title.
Look, we were, for what seemed to be an incredibly too short time for us to work together. I mean, there were some, incredible highlights. I was reminded of, I teach for NYU. I'm a professor in the Clive Davis Institute of Music, teaching the business of music.
Wow.
And one of our guests for our class was the writer Rob Kenner, who was an editor at Vibe magazine. And we talked about during the class, our mutual histories and, my history of Def Jam, Soul Records, Stepson, all the stuff. But somehow we were able to rewind the tape from that unique period when, in essence, Tarsha was for Stepson for our label. She was our Diana Ross. She was our centerpiece artist that we were going to risk it all on.
Spreading love.
Absolutely. And Vibe had this section called "What's Next" or "Who's Next," where they took a full page and it was a select group of artists each month. So there were 12 that they would pick each year about who was going to blow, who absolutely was on the horizon. And he reminded me that, who's going to blow next was Miss Jones.
Wow.
And then that damn Mary, that freaking scoundrel, that fraud, that.
Okay. I do want to get to this Mary thing. Because I've been with Josie for a long time. And I think Josie's honest. She's truthful to me. She tells me the way it was, when she was wrong, when she was right. I just want to know, was Mary when Mary comes out, do you hear a similarity and you go like, this could be a problem if she's got more money behind her and if Diddy gets to doing Diddy things? Did you see it as a competition? Did you see it as a maybe copying Jonesy's style at that moment?
No, not really, because Real Love comes out before we put out Don't Front and and where I want to be, boy. Mary's doing her thing already in a very specific way. And I was close with Puffy. I was incredibly close with the late great Andre Harrell. We shared offices
Mm.
at Def Jam Rush Productions in 1985 and 1986, and I actually was the first promotion person technically for Uptown Records because I trained Jimmy Jenkins. I had been at Def Jam, and
Yeah,
we had
man.
all of our success. So we had that direct relationship, and ultimately, when Tarsha left Stepson and went to Motown, it was based on the relationship partially that Andre and I had for many years to make that a smooth transition. But we thought Mary did her thing and was her thing, but that Tarsha was just in a different class, that on so many levels, as a student of music coming out of Syracuse University. We always thought of Tarsha as the girl in the projects who's the smart girl, who's beautiful, who gets out, who has this incredible career, and we wanted to take advantage of that specific niche perception versus Mary had her own thing that I think was differentiated and separated from that.
So when you lose your Diana Ross, you said Jonesy was your Diana Ross.
Yes.
How can that be such a smooth transition when she moves on to Mo? There's got to be some type of feelings that I've been here from the beginning, and now you're moving on to greener pasture. When we've done this, is what people would say: we did the legwork, we did the ground, we built the
Right.
foundation.
Yeah. Probably the sports fan in me, recognizes when a great player goes from one team to another team, and that we also remained as partners with Motown in Tarsha's career. So, we wanted the best for her. However,
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Wait a minute now. This is breaking news. In what capacity? What happened?
With the transition from us to Motown.
Yeah.
Well, you had secured a deal with Motown directly. And there were all sorts of different labels that I remember having conversations with, as you wanted to find a different platform, a different partner for your music, which at first we were like, yeah, this is incredibly frustrating because we've developed your career, but at a certain point, and I had gone through this earlier in my career because in my first 2 years at Def Jam, we were trying to get Run DMC from Profile Records because Run was Russell Simmons's brother. And, I saw how that actually destroyed, Run DMC, the process that they went through from 1988 until I think about 1990, where they were laid off in essence. And they didn't put out any music, and it stopped their momentum. And I saw that with the Beastie Boys too, who left Def Jam after License to Ill. They sold 5 million copies of their debut album on Def Jam and got off the label and went to Capitol Records. So, having that in the back of my mind always, and I was part of those negotiations in both circumstances. I was like, look, you can only, battle or disagree so much until you figure out the shortest distance between 2 points being a straight line, which is artist wants to find a different location and platform, and partners find how do we make that happen where all parties benefit. So Andre and I had a meeting. I remember it was a lunch meeting. He said, look, how can we make this work? And I said, hey, if you think you can do a great job with Tarsha and you have one of the most incredible careers in the history of R&B in terms of breaking acts, the best that I can do at this point is just hang on and be a partner and watch and hope that everybody's successful at the end of the day. And, ultimately that deal was consummated. I remember also having a call with Chris Lighty about your contract as well. And
We had the big
Well,
league.
why is this news to you, Tarsha?
Because we never really talked of because Tarsha and I have not really talked about it. This is, we're having our Tarsha career retrospective. Right
Y'all look, fix my life thing right now. What was Chris Lighty talking about?
They were interested, but but they weren't as interested as Andre was, because obviously Andre, was a straight R&B guy. Andre was a rapper himself, as
yes,
Dr.
he was.
Jekyll for Dr.
And Mr.
Jekyll.
Hyde. Yep.
Yeah. Had hit records.
Yep.
But when it came to hip hop directly, it beyond Heavy D, beyond Father MC, he didn't really want to get too heavy in terms of the streets. Even Mary, it took really Puffy coming in and nurturing her musical direction.
The edgy.
That was all Puffy. That's not Andre. Andre had a very specific taste, eye, ear, ghetto fabulous aspiration for Black people, that sort of thing. But when it came to edgier things, and we always thought that Tarsha was the bridge between edge and convention, even for Andre, that wasn't like his center. But for Chris Lighty and for Leor, and I think Leor was on that call too, they really they saw that Tarsha had Don't Front as her first single that had energy, Where I Want to Be Boy, top 20 R&B, so forth, all over the place. So there was actually proof of concept.
And then Sugar Hill, you got me on Sugar Hill, and that.
Yeah, and you're on Sugar Hill with by virtue of Lindsey Williams and AZ. So all that stuff is happening, but again, how do I explain it? When you're working with a partner on the label side, production, artist direction, production management, so forth, some folks get it and have it, within them, that they know this is how it's supposed to happen. And sometimes folks don't have that. And that's even going back to that configuration between Puffy and Andre, and even their own, I think, internal company disagreements over direction, that Puffy knew, specifically how things should go for the artists that he had control over. Andre had a different view, and ultimately, their careers, I think, give evidence of where their strengths were in terms of how they put forth their direction in their partnerships. And the same thing, with us. We had a specific view about Tarsha. We communicated also to Andre about the view we had about Tarsha's career, but Andre was much more conventional R&B than me. I'm more, again, Def Jam guy in that regard. Andre, again, rest his soul, one of the great R&B guys. He doesn't get credit. He did not get credit during the time that he was on this earth for his incredible vision as an R&B executive. But he was one of the best. So that transition happens, and we were.
Were you so were you in the process when I was doing tracks? Were you hearing the tracks? Were they consulting you?
No, they weren't.
Did you want to be?
I did. I did, but if I didn't push the issue in any meaningful way, I just really sat back and cheered from the stands.
So when you heard the track, were you disappointed? What was your thinking?
That and this is remembering back a good amount of time, that the direction, since it was Motown, since it was Andre, was much more conventional R&B than I thought what we were trying to do.
Okay.
But then I thought that may have been just where you wanted to go.
I didn't know. I was chasing Doug. So for the record, this is all Doug's idea. I would have been happy staying with you, but I was trying to please my boyfriend at the time. And this was his opportunity to make his mark in the world with Miss Jones under his wing and get a production deal. And so,
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I led with my heart. I led with my heart and
Did
not.
not, did not know that. And by the way,
wow.
So while all of this is happening,
shut up, Mike. Don't be judging people.
No. I'm really saying wow because of how much information. Because I'm really a geek in this music thing, and you guys have forgotten more about the music industry than I'll ever know. And just hearing Bill talk about Andre Harrell, and I don't want to be disrespectful because, like you said, he's one of the most amazing producers, music men ever. But the way I see it is, did you feel like he was behind the curve at the time, and you saw the landscape of music was changing? And he wanted to stay conventional R&B, and you knew maybe you didn't know to his extent, but you knew how much influence hip hop was gonna take over the music business, even R&B.
Man, I wish I could have been that much of a prognosticator to say, we had it right. Andre, Motown, they had it wrong. They had great folks over there. They had Andre, they had a whole bunch of folks from Uptown,
Sugar Dice, all of them. But that
Sugar Dice, Clarence.
That fell apart because Andre wasn't folk Clarence Avon, but they were not really. They didn't let Clarence, in my opinion, just being on hearing, and they didn't let Clarence Avon come in and do the Clarence Avon thing that he does. They only called him for approval for checks.
Yeah. So, it and the Motown name. So, who am I to judge at that point? Now, at the same time, we're moving our deal from Tommy Boy Records to a much larger partnership with Interscope. I'd been friends with Jimmy Iovine, and we had put out a group called Pure Soul, and they had a song called We Must Be in Love that also became a hit in 1995, right about the same time that Tarsha is making her transition. But we hadn't completely or had not completed our partnership on Tarsha with Motown. So technically, Tarsha was still with us as we make the transition to Interscope, which is, at the same time that Tupac is still alive, that Death Row is doing their thing, so forth. So, there was probably a blink of an eye, because I remember having these conversations where if Tarsha had not gone to Motown, her album was going to come through the whole Interscope pipeline and everything that went with that.
So I have a question. So it sounds like there was a lot of music being made during the time that Tarsha was with you at Stepson Records and with Tommy Boy. Where's all that music?
It's in storage, waiting for a well-heeled partner to acquire it and distribute it. Very similar to what just actually happened with Tommy Boy. Tommy Silverman just sold his company to Reservoir Media for $100 million. So they're going to take all of the masters, all that music, all that De La Soul music, all that Jeanne music, all the Naughty by Nature, and they're going to put it back out. They're going to put it into the marketplace. And we're hoping to do the same thing with the Stepson catalog.
Which would include my stuff?
That includes your stuff.
I'm back, bitches!
Breaking news! Breaking news!
I don't gotta do this show no more.
Wait. Sit down.
That's right. No, Tarsha's album, by the way, which was never released because of the transition. She goes to Motown, but the one she did with us. So there's one review of it. The review was by James Jones IV, who was the music reviewer and music editor for USA Today, and he gave Tarsha's first album, I think 5 stars, and said that it was one of the top releases for that year. We have it around here somewhere, that review. We scanned it for something.
So how do we get these songs again? Like how does she? How's this process?
What do we got to do?
That album is it's cringe. It's like,
why?
It's because it's the skits, Bill. The skits.
Yeah, skits.
They're cringy, Bill. They're cringe.
yeah. Looking back, but they're reminiscent of a time and an era.
Yes. Yes.
It's like the
Hey,
beginning
yeah.
of her first video of Don't Front, where she's trying to find her boyfriend and she star 69s him on the telephone.
Star
So people like,
69.
for my kids, like, Dad, what's star
Uh-huh.
69? Well, when mom was trying to figure out, where you were, that's what she would do.
The number she would call back star 69.
Yeah, see what the number was.
Where you would call it from. But we did things like that. Like we were the first to do stuff like that and make people go, oh wow, star 69. I do star 69. We did things like that. Mm-hmm. He let me do things like that. Like, but now
there's a great episode of the Ricky Lake show that Tarsha's on from those years where she's talking about culture and life and all sorts of things. Yeah, it was a very interesting, fun time.
And Bill, I'm on your side. She should have never left you. She should have never left you.
Wow, I'm interested in hearing your vision for her music. I'm interested in hearing that.
Just tell her how Mary and Diddy stole our whole shit.
Oh, and God.
Basically, Mary's first album was a jazz album because Mary did that demo for Andre or for whomever, and it was Anita Baker. That's why her first album sounds very Love Without a Limit. Na, 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 na. And then Diddy heard the mixtape from Ron, asked Ron if he could use that all night long Mary Jane Girl sample. Mm-hmm. And Ron said, no, I'm using this for Jonesy and Bill Stephanie. And Diddy went and did it anyway. They didn't speak for years. They just got back speaking like within the last 10 years or so because of that. He remixed the whole album and made it a mixtape, which was my whole lane. Go ahead, Bill, tell him.
Well, here's the specific thing I do remember from that because Andre was like family, musical family. We had hired Hype Williams to do Tarsha's "Where I Want to Be Boy" video, and there was a very specific vision that we had from the company about how it would look. And so, we sat down with Hype and, there was a very specific production
design. A storyboard meeting. I remember storyboard meeting. You let me be a part of it.
With the letterbox, making sure that we're focusing on you, have different folks from the industry coming into it, so forth, and using Hype's incredibly unique eye. And I think this may have only been like Hype's second or third video. So it's very early in his career. But, we saw immediately that he had a very special eye and a very special mind. But so we were suspicious when Mary came out with, and what's that? What's the sing?
He was on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
She's using the I think it's the Isaac Hayes loop. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting.
He's on top of the mountain, y'all. It came out the same time.
Yeah, came out the same time.
All I really be happy.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Yes. Be happy.
Yep.
So, but that turns out to be also suspiciously a Hype Williams video with a very similar production design that seemed to be rushed because it was shot after we had shot ours.
Okay.
So we were like, okay. Or, whatever.
Tell him who did it, Bill. Diddy did it.
Everybody wonders, you hating on Mary. No, that bitch been robbing me from the gate.
My.
It's okay, because the first single from the new stuff, we got you, boo. You can get whatever you need, Mary, and we boxing. Zab Judah's doing celebrity boxing now. He wants me and Mary to do a celebrity boxing match. She don't want these boys. And I got a strike on. I don't want it either.
But,
only Tarsha.
I mean, but Bill, in your way, Jonesy may explain it differently. In your subtle, very mild-mannered way, you felt the same shit that Jonesy was feeling about Mary.
Probably not. You know why? Because at heart I'm a DJ, and I was a big Mary fan too. I mean, seriously, I'm a Mary fan. I'm an Uptown fan. I'm an Andre fan. I knew Puffy before he was working for Andre, when he was coming actually to try and get an intern with us at Rush Productions, coming up from Howard. So, you know, the industry was, much more friendly competition at that point, and family competition, because again, Andre's coming from Rush Productions as my colleague, in our offices to start Uptown. I'm helping him start Uptown at the 1988 Black Radio Exclusive Convention. We threw a party called Uptown's Cold Chillin' at the Def Jam, and that was a collaborative, just party with all three labels, set up by me, Steve Lucas from Uptown, and Tyrone Williams. LL and Kane battled friendly at that party and emceed it too. And it was just, that was emblematic of just the connections that we all had, because the late 80s, early 90s, it's hip hop versus the world. So we're just sort of together and coalesced because we felt that we had to be.
Bill, who won the battle between LL and Kane, please? You just named two of the most legendary MCs in the history of the world. Oh, Todd won?
Todd, yeah, and that, yeah. So
what?
that it was a semi battle. Of course, Todd won, but
he said, "Of course." There's a lot of Big Daddy Kane fans mad at you right now, boy.
I'm sure. The queen.
They had to be there for that one.
Right. Okay.
But that party was LL performing, Kane performing, and Heavy D. Heavy D is somebody who doesn't get the credit from an artistic standpoint, from a talent, ability to rhyme, spit MC, whatever you want to call it. I hear his records today, and I'm just like, so sad, because that level of rhyming genius and music and musicality in his rhyming just was never really, I think, appreciated.
Wow,
man.
Okay. Covered a lot.
Yeah, we've covered a lot. In your whole experience with I don't even want to go all the way far back to the Bomb Squad. The sound that
going on, like I want to know what's going on.
Go ahead.
Sorry, so the first album with that great one review, which means a lot, and there's an opportunity for us to actually release the cringe. What does that look like?
I don't, we'll figure it out. I'm hoping that like we talked about before, off mic, that we're going to sit down. Hopefully there will be a partner similar to Reservoir Media, or maybe even them, who comes in and works with us to repackage and make what you did sensible to ears today and to eyes today. But
that include Paul Mooney stuff.
Yeah, all the Paul Mooney stuff. Wow. All the stuff that we.
They don't even know. Bill Steph. People don't know. My crew knows, because I shared the emails that you were sending me, so that everyone would be able to research and understand and properly pose questions. But Paul Mooney, the comedian that just passed away, guys,
legend,
was signed to Bill Stephanie's Stepson Records. Like that was the first. I think he was the first artist.
He was, yes.
The first artist on Stepson Records. When comedians, sans Richard Pryor, but years had gone by since there had been another comedic album, and Bill Stephanie signed Paul Mooney, and that album was called Race.
Yeah, first one Race, second one Masterpiece, third one that we didn't release when we left Interscope, called Paul Mooney for President, which is absolutely hysterical, and he was beyond a visionary. Just working with him for 10 years was right there with working with Tarsha. I absolutely have been blessed to work with incredible talent, folks just so unique, and that ranges from folks like Chuck D was my college classmate in PE, and working with Spike Lee, and working with LL, and working with the Beasties, and working with Slick Rick, and all the way up to Donald Glover. It's just been a fun ride to be witness to folks who have something special going on. Again, and just going back to Tarsha's, unique talents and skill sets. So we bring Tarsha up for an interview with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, Andre Brown, was another one of my college classmates from Adelphi University. So we had an advantage, with him, with our artists, to get them on Hot 97 when those two guys are doing the morning show. So we set up that interview with Tarsha. She just, again, she's who she is, to the point where Steve Smith,
But wait, but I have to interrupt you
Sure,
because you just set up the interview.
Yeah.
You prepared me. You put me in a recording studio to record a specific promo.
Oh, did I really?
You did.
Oh.
You did. You sent. You got studio time for me to record a morning show promo specific for Ed and Dre. I wrote it, but you are the one that said it might not be a bad idea. Something for the guys. And when I walked in with that promo, and you also told me, ready, they might throw you in the mix for a roll call. And I'm like, what's a roll call? You're like, listen, you better listen all week and figure it out.
Yeah.
And I did that. So those tools, you packed my backpack and sent me, you armored me up. Yeah. So when I went in, and you can go ahead from there.
Well, what made it so unique, you set up interviews, and I've set up interviews with artists, for years, for decades, since I was 22, 23, setting up interviews for LL Cool J for radio. So in this instance, the interview goes so well that I get a call from the program director, Steve Smith, who says, hey, I'd like to talk to you. I know she's your artist and you guys are investing in her and, throwing everything behind her, but we'd like to talk to her about doing some more on-air work with us. Wow. And I was like, yeah, she had blown them away, so much, but we say, I mean, it's Tarsha, that the personality, is undeniable. And, that, I guess, is the beginning of your radio career on a formal basis. I think there was a meeting that we had with Steve, and was it Charlie Davis managing you at that point?
Yeah.
Very
small.
Very small. Yeah. I think it was all of us at a room at the station. And Steve is like, hey, we think she has a future here. Look, we had the same thoughts about your television. We had the same thoughts about your television career as well. There was a point when Shakim Compriere had come to the table about working with Tarsha from a television standpoint and just overall. So
really, I didn't know. All he ever tried to do was speak with me.
Yeah.
Yep. I should have done that casting couch of all couches. Latifah, equalizer.
Yeah, I remember those conversations.
The fight in slow motion like Latifah.
Oh God.
I had no idea about that part.
That I remember, I think.
But I do know that he was able to get me on that Panther soundtrack when all the other R&B girls were flying out to LA. Oh, I'm changing faces. Here's my past. Oh, I'm Nefertiti. Here's my past. Oh, I'm Aaliyah. Oh, I have a big machine behind me. And here I go. I don't know about them, but I'm here. I drove and I'm tired, but I'm ready to sing. And Shakim kind of helped make sure that because we all sung it, but everybody didn't make the final cut. I think Shakim helped make that little thing. We worked hard, Bill. People don't give us credit for. We were a very grassrootsy label.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of budget. I've told them my budget for the first album was like $55,000 for the whole album.
Yeah. No, you are completely on point with $60,000. You're right there. Because
we went beyond. I'm sure you went beyond.
Yeah, we probably did, but we were so limited by Tommy Boy. It was a small deal. It was a small joint venture that we had. Tommy Boy had been doing well, but they didn't have the budget that Clive Davis was supporting Puffy with, or the budget that LaFace had from Arista. So, and at that point, even Sylvia Rohn just starts to step up her investment for the acts that she's working with. So we were all frustrated with the lack of resources we had for what we thought were very, very unique artists. To have Tarsha, to have Paul Mooney, to have Pure Soul, to have the Bobby Condors deal that we had with him. We had our own little unique weird thing going on.
We worked hard though. We were creative. And
Yeah, we had to be.
And we worked the mix shows, and
Yeah.
we worked the underground. We did.
Yeah.
So Bill, in the midst of all that grassroots work, how did it feel when Tommy Boy just kind of stepped in and took over?
Well, they never really took over. We left. We went to Interscope.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to Interscope because, and this is a whole nother thing, we had a partnership with University Records, Haq Islam, who was also behind Maya
and Drew Hill.
And behind Drew Hill. Technically, there was a point when Drew Hill was signed to Stepson, but they were known as a group called Legacy before.
What?
Damn.
Before.
All right, wait. What's the timestamp on this, Max? I need this timestamp. Edit. Well, you can keep it in. I don't even care. I need the timestamp for a promo. I never knew that. Legacy.
Yeah, that came part of University Records. So so we went to Interscope with the Pure Soul University Records partnership being front and center, because that music was incredibly active, was running up to charts. Jimmy Iovine thought that, for those who remember Pure Soul, there's a song called "We Must Be in Love," which was a wedding anthem.
Wow.
Yeah, and still gets played. I've gone to many weddings over the past 20 years, and and I hear "We Must Be in Love" playing. I'm like, yeah, all right. We made some impact here. So we transitioned in 1995 to Interscope with a very strong joint venture deal. And, we tried our best beyond Pure Soul to work with the label, but they were going through the whole death row thing. And then within a year, Tupac is dead.
Yeah. The landscape changed.
Oh my gosh, the landscape is ever changing. And then 96, that's when Reasonable Doubt comes out. That's when that starts to grab energy. A year after that, Def Jam regains its footing with DMX, with Ja Rule, with securing a deal with Rockefeller, we sort of got caught, I think, in the swirling changes of the business out of the wake of the deaths of both Biggie and Tupac.
Who could have ever imagined that got too real? That never never happened.
Yeah. And my kids still see. I told Tarsha this before, that my kids see that Source Awards where we bought all these tickets for Stepson, because Tarsha was one of the presenters and is up on the stage, with Suge, right there for that very famous clip of
his award.
Of him saying, come to death row. Tarsha's right there on stage.
Chewing gum like a cow. And never ever imagining the impact that moment. That was the turning point right there. When I handed him that award.
The world changed.
The world changed.
Forever.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there was something I didn't know. I didn't know it was coming, but if there was something I could have done or said, or maybe rubbed his back and said, easy,
right.
Yeah. So that was just a wild time. And folks don't talk about this. Vibe magazine used to have a conference, and I think this is not too long after that moment. During the Vibe conference, and Vibe was a magazine started by Quincy Jones. It was his attempt to do his version of the Source magazine. Because of everything going on in the industry, Quincy Jones calls a meeting, and I think this was at the Marriott Marquis, of all the label heads in hip hop. So the meeting is run by Quincy, Colin Powell, Ed Lewis, who's the publisher for Essence Magazine, and Atala Shabazz, Malcolm X's daughter. And it
Wow.
was basically, they were like a committee to speak to those of us in hip hop, to get our act together.
Mm.
So I'm there. Shug came into the meeting. I don't think Puffy was there. But there were Uptown representatives. Easy Mo B was there. There are about, I don't know, 30 folks from different labels, just to hear them speak about Black culture, responsibility, history, how we can't, let these battles turn into something that destroys the legacy of Black culture, so forth. It was just a wild time to be part of the industry and be part of the culture.
Was that an uplifting experience or was it a condescending experience? Because lots of people in the industry have got, younger folks, our generation and younger, have gotten annoyed with the much older generation and their stance on what we've done or not have done for the culture. So I'm interested, what was their approach?
I think the approach was well intended, but didn't connect.
Wow.
Because to some of the elements that you're referring to, because that relationship, that pass through, that actually is supposed to happen between generations, just wasn't happening, during that time. I don't know if it's ever, been repaired, but there wasn't, that sort of bond that where the message would have had some resonance with the folks in the room. In fact, I remember Easy Mo B, I think, got up and he started to scream at Colin Powell.
Wow.
Just like, what are you doing here? And that sort of thing.
And what did Colin say?
I don't remember his response.
He started a
I'm
war.
sure he took it like, yeah, maybe.
Did he back up and say, all right, this is too much ignorance, I'm just gonna,
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think it wasn't confrontational. That I do recall, because I would have remembered if it were. So if you get Easy Mo B on, you talk to him about it, I'm sure he'll be clearer.
But you know what, Bill, and this is just my opinion, the detachment, it was on both sides' fault. There was a culture where the entertainment business had left the streets so high and dry, where your job was, we're going to act a certain way and we're going to be here. And they had no idea what was going on and what those neighborhoods were going to take over the music industry, because you were so detached.
Yeah.
There were so many people that were so detached. And I'm glad, the fact that you have been so influential in all these situations, you've had this historical presence in that, I would only think it's right.
Oh, thank you. No.
I would only think it's right that you manage Jonesy. Because I think right now what Jonesy needs, in all seriousness, and I've said this.
No, he's right. I need sensibility and like perspective and like.
Well, we are going to work together. We're going to work together again. That is, without question, that's going to happen.
And then I'll work my little Webby magic.
Here she goes.
She needs you, Bill. And I've always said this. She's always needed somebody to fight for her. And she's been taken the wrong way a lot in this business because she did all the fighting herself.
Yeah.
And when a woman does that, she's looked upon differently than when a man does that. So in seriousness, boy, that would be great.
Well, my frustration over the past 20 years in watching, your success, her success, just folks not realizing the totality of her talents, and that her singing, which Tarsha is an educated musician, a formally educated musician, and that shouldn't be minimized. That should be celebrated. And in fact, I think the music a lot of times that we hear today celebrates the opposite. But for her, all of those talents, because she turned out to be such an incredible, overwhelming personality on the radio, obscured these other things that she brings to the table. So that we recognized, many years ago, ranging from her talents to, I remembered working with her early on, and she put together a little party in her apartment and made some of the most delicious wings that to this day, I tell my wife that, those Tarsha wings just were, I can't eat them anymore at this age, but I do have the memory. So yeah, she had skills that were multiple.
I knew he was coming, and I needed that skill. You changed my life, Bill, and I never thanked you. I thank you. I appreciate you, and now I wholly appreciate you. Like, I know what that appreciation should look like, because I've grown, and I like I've grown up, but I've gone through life.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to go through life to get through life, and you don't find people like you that don't want anything from you, just want to, like you said, celebrate your talent and bring it to the masses for them to share in. And if we win, we win. And if not, we go back to the drawing board and we start over again. No one's invested like that anymore. No one's even expected to be invested. You hit and quit. But you from the beginning, you and that time that you signed me, it was crucial. I was fighting for my life. Sure. And you know the story. I don't have to keep repeating the whole, oh, my father died, oh, my mom died. I was, about to be on the street. But you never made me feel like I owed you. Like I took you in when your parents died. You didn't do that. You never muscled me. You never leveraged me. I always wanted to be, I always was impatient because I saw, and I'm out in the streets and I'm hearing, Johnny's coming out with something and Mary's coming out with another album. There's a new woman called Faith coming out. And then we got this, I've been doing my own thing. What's the name?
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Is it something?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's who she used to walk my dogs. Oh my gosh.
She used to steal my songs.
Yeah. Well, she said she was a big fan.
Yeah, we could tell.
Yeah.
That was nothing but a slow down where I want to be, boy. That was all in the pocket. What's the name? Bryce?
It was Groove Theory. But
Theory.
But why am I forgetting? Oh my gosh. Amel as a teenager used to actually in Brooklyn used to walk my dog. Yeah. So and she's sweet. So she was a big yes. She said right after those hits that they had that she was a big fan of yours and that you were an influencer for her. Yeah.
Well,
but I do remember one moment where you were very frustrated. We were at some event and Adina Howard was performing, and
you just want to get my t-shirt and my panties. I'll be right back.
Oh man!
What? Yeah. Because she stole our look. You talk about Mary on that mountain. Adina, did she use hype for that? Our video was that we introduced.
Yeah, I think she did. Yeah.
Listen to me. Yeah. People, please, this is not Jonesy crazy. I know you're used to typical Jonesy crazy, but I need you to get here with me real quick. Before Jonesy did Don't Front and Where I Want to Be Boy, the girls, Mary included, were wearing jerseys and Tim. No one wanted to show a curve. It was not popular to show a curve. You had to have a baseball cap, a jersey, and Tim. We took the chance to highlight the curves and bring back soft and pretty and music and colors, like vibrant colors, which is where Hype Williams came in because he gave us what we asked for during that storyboard meeting. We want vibrant, we want sharp. Tanya, his wife, Bill Stephanie's wife, who was running the label, she said, I want what was that show? Was it Moonlighting? She kept saying, I want that type of silhouette.
When they put it on a star's face, they put it on a girl's face. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is Moonlight? And she's like, shut up, you'll figure it out. She made every photographer that came through that, she made them know that that was her vision for me. And then we turn around, here go Mary on the mountain with Moonlighting and Adina with the plastic that, I'm coming for you too. No, I'm not. We're coming for Adina because Yeah.
You know what? I just pulled up the video. I didn't see it before, but boy, do I see it now.
That's where I want to be, boy. Everybody,
It is.
Bill, we gotta fight these bitches.
It is.
No, it's not over, Bill.
The shots. Oh yeah, yeah.
Bill,
Sorry, Bill.
Tarsha has the frustrations of being a pioneer. So that's what she is.
But I'm trying to relive it and get my thing off by this one-hit wonder verses.
Yeah.
So I come up with this concept that all of us one-hit wonder girls or two and a possible girls, we have great songs that got the parties popping, that made the hips drop, and we deserve to verse the other half of us girls and give America a great verses where we tag each other in and we just do our two hot songs. And so I can't come for Adina because she's agreed to be part of the verses, as did Sunshine Anderson and Gina Thompson and Little Mo. And
oh, that's a good idea. I take inspiration in working again with Tarsha from another good friend of my family, the legendary singer Darlene Love, who we have seen her as an actress, but she was one of the top session singers in the 60s, singing on all of the great Phil Spector songs.
Yeah, that was that court battle was
and that was a tremendous court battle which she won. And later on she appears and her story appears, and again, my mind losing so many elements, the documentary about background singers that won an Oscar about 5 years ago or so that she's featured. And ultimately Darlene was able to revive her career despite the fact that she had been sort of in the shadows 50 years ago. Now today she is a centerpiece. She is an inductee in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Wow. She sings every year that Christmas song with Springsteen at live events. She's revivified her career to heights that it didn't see 40, 50, 60 years ago. So I use that as a template for looking at Tarsha's career as someone who was really a pioneer for a very specific time, era, maybe did not get her flowers during that era, but the music is still vibrant, she's still vibrant, and we can try and bring new eyes and new ears to the great work that she did years ago and the great work that she'll do in the future.
Bill, you're a vault for the information that I've never heard before.
It really is.
And even the way you present it, your voice is calming. I know a guy shouldn't say that to another guy. Okay.
It is calming.
Your voice is calming.
Because before Tarsha being in radio, I wanted to be in radio. I wanted to be Frankie Crocker.
Wow. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah.
But we can't let all this information you have just go to, it's great that you're doing this and we appreciate you that we're sharing this with all Jones's fans. But we need a documentary.
Yeah.
We need a documentary that's even what you just told me about. I'm going to go look at that documentary right now. But a documentary with people like, of course, Ms. Jones, and all these stories of building these careers and finding these stars, finding Jonesy and Queens in the projects when she's at the end of her rope and she's only a teen. She's in her early 20s at that point. These are great stories. Yeah. And look, that's just my little suggestion. I ain't got the pull to do it. I know you do. So I know you can make this happen. I know there's a market out there for people to be interested in these stories.
Yeah, I there are a number of documentaries that are being worked on. By the way, that film that Darlene Love was in was called 20 Feet from Stardom in 2013. That won the Oscar for Best Documentary. But I'm working on a documentary project, a multi-episode docuseries that would tell a lot of these stories. And the project is in partnership with a company called Triple Threat TV. They produce the 30 for 30 documentaries.
Oh wow,
ESPN.
those are the best.
So yeah, we're already in those conversations. So
I want one all just about me. Just
There should be. There absolutely should be.
Should.
Make that happen.
I gotta. I'm too old.
No, you got it, Jones, because
No,
if you're not familiar with the 30 for 30s, Jones, they always start off with a statement where they'll be like, "You thought he was the greatest."
I watch them. I love them. They're so well produced. I love them, and I learned stuff that I wouldn't have even thought to ask.
Yeah. So yours was started. Yours would start. So you thought Mary started it? What if I told you she didn't?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So there's so much. So did you achieve what you set out to achieve with Stepson Records?
Creatively, yes. From a business standpoint, no. When we left our partnership with Interscope, and that's like 1999 going into 2000. I had been kind of burned out a little bit because I went from Def Jam and all the craziness that went with running a label for Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons when I was only like 24 years old. I went directly from that to then running Soul Records, which did the soundtrack for Juice, and had my partner Hank Shockley signed a group called YBT, Young Black Teenagers.
I remember that.
I remember Young Black Teenagers.
Yes. Tap the bottle, twist the cap.
Tap the bottle and twist the cap.
Yeah. So I went from that to then doing Stepson. So by the time I'm 29 years old, I've already run 3 labels. I don't think any other executive from that era, certainly no Black young executive, had that record. So by 1999, 2000, the music is changing. The industry is changing. Napster happens. We're all trying to figure out how we're going to monetize music going forward, which, folks are still to this day, trying to figure out 20 years later. So that's when I said, look, it's time for me to do some other things. I was doing my music film supervision business at that time too. I was the music film supervisor for Boomerang, Bebe's Kids, CB4, Clockers, Crooklyn, Down to Earth, The Great White Hype, Ladies Man, all these different films. So I'm doing all this stuff. And at a certain point, I said, look, I've had a great time working with some of the greatest acts of all time. Public Enemy is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Run DMC is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Beastie Boys are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. LL Cool J is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it doesn't really get better than to work with some of the greatest. My kids, two of whom have gone through film school. They wind up studying the stuff that I did in their classes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Which is
how amazing is that? What kind of
both kids, are watching the Fight the Power video. And they watch the Fight the Power video, and then my mind sort of rewinds the tape to Spike riding his bike from his apartment on Washington Park in Fort Greene. He rode it up 8 blocks to my apartment on St. James Place down the street from Biggie, and brings me the script for Do the Right Thing and asks me, hey, I need a song from PE for this film. Do you think you can put it together? And that winds up being Fight the Power.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Bill Stephanie is his name.
Who
knew?
Who knew?
I'm glad to know. I'm glad to know, and that we're reconnecting while we're still vibrant and alive and still have our wherewithal.
That is beautiful.
That
resume.
Have miles to travel. Is that how that song goes? And still have miles to travel.
It's hard to that resume. That's hard to top. Like I was gonna say, I did BET Comic View. I almost did it twice.
He was rattling off all those soundtracks. I'm like, I could have sung on that. I could have sung on that.
I knew that's what you were thinking. I knew this was why did I get on that one? Even the Great White Hype. I could have done something for the Great White Hype.
She should have done something for the Great White Hype. And some of them, folks I don't even think ever saw. Like we did a film called Ride. So this is produced by the Hudlin brothers, which starred Malik Yoba, Melissa D'Souza. It was about a bunch of young people taking a bus from Harlem down to Florida, down I-95. And we follow their exploits going from Harlem to Florida. And I don't think anybody saw that one or even heard the soundtrack to this day.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
about
you
to say,
remember
I
it?
think I
Really?
remember that movie.
Like I do remember that movie.
I
Yeah.
remember that. And I think I've seen it too.
Wow.
I don't remember the music so much, but I
Yeah. That was a non-memorable one. That was on Miramax too. That was working with Harvey Weinstein. Wow.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Bill, is Tanya around?
I think she's out with the kids.
I
Yeah.
wanted her to pop in so I could say hi. Tanya, his wife, wasn't his wife then, but she knew she would be one day. She used to run that label like, who are you again? What do you need to speak to my husband? I mean, Bill for?
Speak it into existence, exactly.
But no, Tarsha was like Tanya's little sister. It was fun to see them, in the same room because they would talk to each other. They'd love and argue like sisters.
But she always had my best interest because when I got there and I had that flare up with the tumor, that was the first flare up, and I had to have surgery. Tanya was more concerned with what it was doing to my mental, that I had just gotten this record deal and now here something is directly affecting my ability to sing. She was like, we will pay for the surgery. Like, stop worrying about Medicaid and all that stuff. Bill's getting you the best doctors. I just want to make sure that you know that we are here. We're not leaving you. We're not getting rid of you. We will ride through this together. They were family with me. And she was she was like a second mom. Not old enough, of course, to be a mom, but like really like an older sister.
Yeah.
Like, put those potatoes down. You got a video to shoot next week. and her cousin or niece was always hanging out, just loved music, loved the industry, hanging out at the label. Her name is Mandy. Mandy is now Slick Rick's wife.
Oh,
and
wow.
as the wife of Slick Rick, like she rode with him through all his ups and downs and deportations. But she was always hanging around. Good girl. Like you could tell, like they come from good family, and she's been loyal to Rick. Now she manages him. She's been managing him for like the last 25 years.
Yeah. And his career has
His
continued and done incredibly well. He's working with Idris Elba these days. I mean, it's just, and that's largely, like Tarsha said, it's largely because of Mandy. These Cepeda women from the Bronx, there's something going on.
Yep. And I call her, like we call throughout the year. She's like, how are the boys? Just checking in. She sends money. Oh, here's some money for Chase football, uniform, just on the strength. And then when I called to need Rick, she always makes him available. So again, I would never have even met Mandy. I knew Rick. We went to school together, but I would never met the boss behind had it not been for me being a part of Steps on Records. So I am dismayed that we weren't able to complete our journey as we sought out, because me, you, and Ron G had that vision. We had that vision. But that damn Debbie crash.
We did, but it continues. And I think every day is a blessing. And I find myself blessed and lucky to be one of the folks still standing from my generation and from that time, still doing a lot of this stuff. So for that, I feel I have to fulfill those blessings by making connections, reconnections, and just continuing what we've always tried to do.
Well, I appreciate that, and we need you to do a documentary because the stories end with you, honestly.
Hey, your storytelling is very important. Certainly, anybody who wants to tell certainly my story directly, more than willing, for the right circumstance,
Right.
but the focus is less on me. It's on, great talent like you, just, tell the stories of those struggles, the ups, the downs, but the art, which is the centerpiece of it all.
Appreciate you and your vision, Bill. Glad we reconnected.
Very much
Same here,
Nice.
and thank you for having me on.
Oh, please.
Great.
This is a reunion
Wonderful.
show. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You keep reunioning things from radio, but the radio wouldn't have started had it not been for the record stuff and not the Motown stuff and the One More Chance, the real where you put the grind in. So why are you not talking to Bill Stephanie? And then I'm like, he may not want to fuck with me. I don't know. It's been a long time. And I call Mandy and I'm like, Mandy, I need you to make it good. She's like, girl, they ain't thinking about that. They would love to hear from you. So then I took a chance to call. And then the next day, Paul Mooney died.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How crazy.
Yeah.
So we have to take advantage of this time while we're alive and standing. And I thank you for joining us today on the Miss Jones Reunion podcast, Bill. And yeah, we're going to get some stuff going.
No, thank you. This has been great. This has been wonderful. It's a family event. It's like one of those summer picnics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And with Black people potato salad.
I was thinking the same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Stephanie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. So we'll talk. We'll talk soon.
We will.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Good night.
You. Thank you. Have
Good
a great
night.
Sunday. Good
Have
night.
a great night.
Yeah, because we don't want all kinds of craziness in the potato salad. Sorry.
Can't be raisins.
No. Carrots and all that. No.
I don't want all those colors. I need
No.
white or
White?
white, yellow.
Potato salad.
Beige. I need beige.
I'll be liking that basic. Just keep that shit basic as fuck.
Listen, all you need is celery, mayonnaise, mustard,
Yeah.
potatoes, onions. That's it.
No. There's school tomorrow. You can't be at nobody's house at no 11 o'clock.
All right, then,
You need me to come get you now.
9:30,
Before
9:30.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Sorry. Chase swimming with the Black Doctor and the Black Doctor's children.
Oh.
Not bad. It's a good connect.
Look, I need the relief in the village wherever Flip is out of town.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
Flip is in Atlanta. So wait, guys, do you think of me differently now that you met Bill Stephanie? Oh my God, cringe. I'm a weirdo.
No, I think he just reinforced lots of things that we knew, to be quite honest. But he filled in lots of gaps. Like there's a whole album I've never heard.
And that fucking Mary tried to steal it, but I'm coming for your ass, bitch.
Like there's a whole album, and I had no idea between the connection of the videos with Hype Williams. But as he was talking, I was scrolling, looking, and I'm like, shit, this is the same clip. This is the same.
Look at Brandy with all those female rappers. Her video happened the following week. All those bitches was on my shit. They all was stealing my shit with Hype. Don't let them get the Grammys. Make them have to return the Grammys. They all stole our shit, but because we didn't have the resources,
Right.
it's the one who has the money to push the machine
Yes.
and grease the palms.
Yes.
That's what it is. They won, but I'm really the winner. Fuck them. Fuck them R&B bitches.
Well, no, but I hear you. But you know what? The circle was too tight. Like y'all people who were kind of famous. It was like y'all were too close, so it was too easy to steal.
Yeah.
Like everybody knew everybody's next move somehow, some way. Like everybody could get access to people's moves.
Right, him and Andre sharing fucking office space that they're still friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's friendly competition. Meanwhile, I'm trying to scratch bitches' eyes out because I also would like to get my spot in hip hop history. Like,
and then when you have,
they've got her shit, and I'm still trying to. I mean, I made my shit in radio. I took that whole passion and redirected it in radio, and no one can take that from me. As much as bitches try and downplay me and play me to the left and curve me, nobody, y'all are never going to convince me that I am not a legendary iconistic radio force to be reckoned with. I did that. I took all that singing shit, quickly put it in radio, and did it. Now we got to circle back because I want that record shit too.
This is when you do something dope. When people started forgetting about your singing, that was how crazy you was doing the radio thing.
Yep.
You literally have to do something super dope to overshadow something that was already. You know how you see these announcers now on TV who people don't even know they ever played ball because they're so good at what they're doing. And and I tell these young dudes, like, y'all don't know this motherfucker was lethal. Like this, you're not talking about a regular ball player, but they're so good at what they're doing now that people forget. It's just a compliment on what you did on radio.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think this, but talking to him, God, that business is fucked. I'm in the entertainment business, but the music business just has a different darkness about it.
Yep.
Sometimes, like, it just like, there's so many twists and turns that if you would have just done this,
right,
the whole world would have been different. Right. Just one little thing.
One little thing.
Which also explains, Michael Sean, it sheds a little more light on why when certain artists came through or wanted to come to the show, she was like, no. Or she already had, you know, from my perspective, she already prejudged, but it wasn't a prejudgment. There was all this history.
And I didn't want to revisit to y'all because I look like sour grapes.
Right. There was all this history, this music history that we just didn't account for.
And no one, you can't go back and be like, oh, this happened, that happened. Nobody cares, bitch. Move on. But I know, and no, you won't be coming on this motherfucking show. Go to Sunshine, Little Mo show, because you won't come here.
But if you're a real Jonesy fan, at the end of the metaphoric day, if Dougie Fresh was going, she was following. I'm just going to let you, if you heard somewhere.
Follow the yellow beatbox. Follow the yellow beatbox because.
Oh my God.
It was all his fault. He's the reason my shit fucked up. No, I'm not gonna say he's not, but we were kids, so whatever. Right. I'm so grateful that we are still standing and able to connect the dot and read some other shit because I am out of my 13-year bid raising kids, right? Or 17-year bid raising kids. And I still have the passion and the desire. Yeah. And now my production team with these songs, and I'm still willing and able. Thank God I'm still willing and able because some of my peers are not able. And whether it be the One Hit Wonder versus the One Hit Wonder tour, which is happening in a city near you, and we're starting overseas, or, you know, whatever it is, I'm just glad to be back. So I want to thank everybody again. Please subscribe to the YouTube page, Miss Jones Reunion, and tell a friend, tell more friends, because I think you guys are subscribing. But tell your bitch ass employees, in-laws, and all those other things they're trying to fuck with. Send them my way. There's something in these shows for everybody.
Yeah, we gotta go. But I want to ask him, but I'm gonna ask you, for good or bad. What if social media would have existed when you had your deal? What if you would have had that type of access? Now, this could be really bad. God. This could be really bad too. But really good in a situation, you already have a social media presence and you started late. Can you imagine in your 20s promoting an album and being able to go directly to your fans every single day?
And I can't even imagine that because that would have meant that the contracts that we signed before we let out the gate would have been structured so differently that who knows, they would have probably tied our hands in those contracts. Like every hit would have probably had to go through them. And then they controlled us. Like the record labels back then, they really, really controlled us. Like I'm still not getting paid even from my book. And that's not even a record label. I'm not getting, so when you buy Have You Met Miss Jones from Amazon and the Kindle version, there was no digital when I did the book. Right. So there was no negotiation of those rights. So that money is going to, I don't even know where it's going. Oh, we think that we would have been able to go direct, but the labels and their conniving ways would have figured out a way to cut us off.
Right.
But the only problem with that, and I agree with you to a point, they were in 20 2014, 2015, they were behind. They were very cocky on. They just thought the record industry was going to stay the record industry forever.
Yeah.
And they got caught. And they're still not figuring out how they can grip. Because I hate to bring up Kevin Hart, but his movie deal, he had a whole separate check and a negotiation for anything that had to do with his Instagram. Because they were late. It was already there. They didn't even know how important it was.
Yeah.
So I thought that would have been interesting because I would have been good for you because you're such a, let me say this in a nice way. You ain't scared to go out there. And you ain't scared. So your Instagram live would have been on some fire, some type of
get fired.
Well, yeah, okay. Because of the territory. You ain't great till you get fired.
Right, I guess. So I'm greatness times 4.
Oh shit.
So listen. So thank you guys for asking good questions to Bill Stephanie. And so next week, I'm not sure, but I know that AZ got an album coming and he promised and swore he's coming on the show in June. We got Crazy Bone, who was supposed to come tonight, but because Bill could only do tonight, I moved Crazy Bone to another week in June. And we got Remy and Papoose.
Okay.
I have guaranteed. They're just, Pap already confirmed. Remy just stopped filming a movie. So they are trying to coordinate their personal schedules because we need Remy and Papoose.
We do.
Because they were a huge part. Of the Miss Jones stuff. And I don't know. Should we wrap up this reunion stuff after like the end of June? Should we like wrap it up? Because Drink Champs is calling. They want me on Wednesday in Miami. And
yeah.
Oh shit.
This Wednesday?
Yeah, this Wednesday.
You should be giving short notice to people.
But I told them I couldn't do it because Che will like not go to the bus. The teachers will be calling me while I'm talking to Nori.
Oh God.
They didn't show up all week, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. But the fact that they're interested.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So do we keep this going? Do we change it from the reunion to the, I don't know. Do we just keep it going?
Change it to June, the name.
Yeah, June is what, the 6-month mark, I feel like. The end of June. We're almost at 20 episodes.
4 months.
4 months?
Started February 1st. March, April, May, June.
Why did I think we started in January? All right, so July is, well, we were prepping, yeah, we were working. But I think it's something to think about for the 20 episode mark. How does this evolve? Like
the 20th anniversary. The 20th anniversary episode. Make it big.
Make it big.
You guys have suggestions on who you want to see, who you want us to revisit that we had on the show? Yeah. I really need to get will.i.am. Because he's that one person that I've been talking about that I never got to apologize to face to face. And I have to do this face to face. The same way I gave him all that unnecessary roughness, I have to give him a much necessary apology. No, I do. I was being mean, vicious, unnecessary, over the top. That nigga didn't do nothing but get up early to come to be on my show. And I have to apologize. Like I was reckless.
I do remember it was a sunny day outside because I kept staring out the window.
Shut up, Mike. You just got to make it worse all the time.
Was this at Hot or was this in Philly?
No, this was at Hot.
Where was I?
And you were there. Was she there?
Was I there?
You should have been there. That's the time frame you should have been there.
I think you melted into the green room.
Yeah, there was times I just kind of faded to black because shit got real. Yeah.
Because you booked him, and here I am like, oh, you're just a Wyclef knockoff. Why are you here? That was bad.
Yeah, that was bad. That's when I looked back I saw a certain pigeon, and I just focused on the pigeon the entire time as it flew.
Yo.
Wow.
Listen, we all make mistakes. And we all have I did more good than bad.
Yes, you did.
Or at least equal.
At least, yes.
Right. I think I did a lot of good because people are reminding me, you paid my rent. You helped my kid.
Oh, yeah. You definitely did good.
All right, so we gotta get Will. We gotta get Will.
That bad. We gotta get Will.
You gotta get Will.
You gotta get Will.
Gotta get Will.
You keep skipping over what you did to Cedric, but I looked at that pigeon that day you interviewed Cedric Entertainer too. I just looked at the pigeon.
All right, you can come. Cedric's all right. Cedric just got, I said Groundhog's Day. He reminded me of the groundhog. That's what I said about Cedric, remember? But he's not funny to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think he's hilarious.
I
That's
don't
just
like
me.
Cedric.
That's just me.
Everybody, everything ain't for everybody. So I
Right.
respect it.
Right.
I can't not respect it because you got your fan base. Just like,
Mhm.
I'm not for everybody. Mike, everybody that can't fuck with you, but those that do,
They ride.
and so to all of you that fuck with us hard, we thank you, we appreciate you, we love you. That is our show for this week. Please subscribe and like and join us on the new IG, Only Jonesy1, JONESY1. And make sure you check out that Mike Sean documentary. We're still working that, aren't we?
We're still working that. There's going to be a relaunch to that. So I'll make sure that we are. That's crazy. I just got a phone call about it right before we started the show when I stepped away. That is weird. Okay.
That's the energy because I had no idea.
You had no idea that I just stepped before we started and had a That's crazy.
It's in the universe.
Mike Sean relapse again. For those of you that haven't seen it, it will change your life.
Yes, please check it out. Everybody's been checking it. And they actually, anybody who Jonesy fans are different. When they leave a comment, before they leave a comment, they say, I came here because Jonesy sent me. Yeah. And then they go, and that was a great job. You really, I wish everything in the world. But before all of that, like before you get gas,
let's be clear.
I'm only here because Jonesy sent me here. That's now take it one day at a time. Now take it one day at a time, boo. Take it one day at a time.
Thank you, Jonesy Corn. Because we gotta get all our flowers. You see how niggas is going and having like big send-off careers, and they started at my show. Yep. Like we need to get all the. And Mary, you gonna get these hands. And also join us Thursday night. Last week we weren't here for Flip the Script, but me and Miss Jones we try to work some shit out. Flip wants to quit the show, and I'm like,
what he need to do is stay out of people's pools. But I digress.
Yeah.
All right. No, we didn't even talk about that. So here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, it was scripted. It wasn't scripted.
It wasn't.
And at the end of our last IG, when Envy said Flip been trying to get that Beanie Siegel verse, blah, 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 blah. Flip came in the live. He called Envy after the live. And we orchestrated Flip to actually go to Envy's house, ring the doorbell, and get the verse. This nigga chose to do it Flip style manner, climb over a wall,
break the wall,
because I said broke the gate, and then Envy was caught off guard. So Envy, and then he got pissed off because Flip went back down. So that's why he got the dogs. But then you jump in the pool and destroy your clothes, and then Envy had to, like, they call me with Flip sitting naked with a towel over his waist in Envy's garage, and he's like, "Do you know what this nigga just did? Like, did he tell you he was going to do this?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I told him to ring the bell. Envy, please don't stop doing a reunion show with me."
He did the same thing to Shumpert.
Oh,
the basketball, Tiana Taylor, and them. He hopped his ass in Amon's pool, talking about, "I miss you, I love y'all, I want to see my nieces, we family, son." And I'm like, what's going on?
And so look, and then I want to also touch on, me and Wendy went to see Donnell Rollins, who we probably need to bring on the reunion show. Favorite for the reunion show, or is it like
David? Because I'm trying to get in contact with him, and he's not responding. So
we can get in contact with Donnell, but he needs to know. I don't like people sneaking pictures under the table, Angela.
Oh shit!
How you sneaking pictures under the fucking table, bitch? And then it's going to. I thank you for the page 6 look. Thank you, Yee. But y'all can't be taking pictures under the table of people.
Gotta be aware, girl. You gotta be aware out in these streets, boy.
And God, she wasn't eating.
You never know what.
That's why Wendy said, "Jones, I know you're hungry just like me. We'll go eat and drink and all those things after we leave here, but we can't be too broad sitting in the front row eating chicken wings with blue cheese." I swear that's what she said. And then when I saw the page 6 shit, I went off in her text, and she calls me and she goes, "They don't matter. That girl don't matter."
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a good look. I said, "Go ahead."
Look, but you playing me. But you kind of playing me because you saying she didn't want to take a picture with me. That's kind of playing me, and I'm more OG than Angela Yee. You know what I mean? Like you saying she don't want to take a picture with you. People are like, "Bitch, she don't really know you." But you saying she don't want to take a picture with me. That's a little offensive. That kind of
Y'all was
clown.
together. Yeah.
Like that. And we came together,
Mhm.
arm in arm. Did you know you have to arm in arm? Like, don't play me like that. And then we took pictures. Me and Wendy took pictures all night.
Mm.
And apparently so did you under the fucking table, bitch. That's
Oh,
why
shit.
didn't want to take another one, bitch. Because she saw y'all click.
Thanks for
clicking under-
tuning in, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
You always
Please
gotta be
join
careful.
us next week
Well,
You always
for
gotta be careful,
episode
Jonesy.
19
Yo,
of the
no-
Miss Jones in the Morning reunion show as I try to wrap her up.
Listen, Kirk said, well, now we know the paparazzi, you know, they never shoot you from the front. He said, and only Southside niggas will shoot you in your back. He said, so let's get the peripheral spinning.
That's right.
Oh my
That's right.
God.
All right, guys, we love you. Thank you. Bye.